here. Spinning down in front of cars. Oh, contact. 51 couldn't get slowed down enough. Cloud, I believe.
So Bubba Wallace in the 43 initiates this, and then the 51 slides into him. And David Starr.
Watching this coming down into turn 3, Bubba got loose, got turned by someone coming down and got through the grass. Did not contact the outside wall as far as I can tell, but the contact with the 51 is going to end both their days. Let's take a look here.
And guys, I just got word that Bubba Wallace came across the radio and said his brakes went out, Junior.
Okay. Yeah, so he tried to straighten up the entry. I mean, that's the same thing that happened to him at Pocono. And so you know, your instincts are to aim left and try to, go through the grass and slow the car down some way, somehow. And he did a great job staying out of the wall with the issue he had. But without brakes, he can't stop the car as he's rolling down in front of oncoming traffic. Typically, he would have been on the brakes and be able to stop the car and stop that accident there from happening. We talked about Pocono. This is exactly what happened here. As we look at this replay down into turn 1, very scary accident. Really glad to see Bubba get out of the car after such a terrible hit there. So same issues or similar issues here today. And it's going to end his day, but nothing that he could do there to keep the car from rolling down in front of that oncoming traffic, and that's the only issue with, for those guys is they can't avoid that car just coming down into traffic in front of them.
Rick again catching his breath.
I say, Rick, you and I were having this second brake failure we've seen today, and I have to think that perhaps.
And this was, by the way, this was back in Pocono, so you're seeing it, but this was today here.
He's got a little bit of brake, as you can see the tires locking up somewhat. So he had enough to get the car slowed down to keep it out of the fence.
So, Junior, I was thinking, we hadn't talked much about just the calendar. This race used to be in the summer. The grip was low. The track temperature very high. Here we are in September. It's a much cooler day. Track temperature much higher. It seems like they have more speed. Is there a chance that the overall lower lap times is more abusive on the brakes and the teams just didn't prepare for it? I don't know, but it's surprising to have 2 brake issues already in the race.
Yeah, those brake issues or the brake heat is something you monitor throughout the weekend, and those guys did not get that opportunity to do that. So understanding exactly how much brake heat you're creating, the teams don't know. So going into today, it's hard for them to continue to monitor that during the race. You're not able to really do that. So, they're having some issues, and we may see this continue throughout the day with some of the teams. As it gets worse as you get back further into the pack, and particularly where Bubba's been running, get in that dirty air, you're going to use the brakes more. The car's going to be tighter, and you're going to use more and more brake deeper down in the corner and create more and more heat, generate more heat. And so continue to see this or continue to monitor this throughout the day and see if we continue to see brake issues for the rest of these teams.
I think an issue we need to think about as well is that's only 3 laps since the restart. So, it may be a brake heat issue, but it's only would be a brake heat issue because it's spiking the temperature very high after these long straightaways. We see problems at Pocono and Indy because you have these long straights and the brakes cool so much that you get on the brakes and they instantly heat up, and that's what can be the problem. Is actually maybe too much cooling, not enough cooling in some cases. Marty.
And guys, a moment ago you saw Kyle Busch when he was scuffing in the tires before this last restart. He swerves down, hits the grass. It looks very innocuous, like nothing bad happened there, but something did happen. Take a listen on the radio.
When I was scuffing tires, I touched grass, and ever since then the steering's been tougher.
And you can see him kind of trying to shake that grass off the tire.
Exactly what Bubba does. I'm not sure how this happened or why he must have touched the brake pedal, noticing no brake pressure, and just immediately turned left. All 4 tires were up on the car as he was sliding by, so it didn't blow a tire and make that turn. That had to have been the driver input. And, it's a very scary situation. He tried to defuse it. Kelly.
And when Bubba Wallace just been released from the infield care center, and as you just said, we thought that incident seemed reminiscent of Pocono. What did you feel?
I thought the same thing. It scared the hell out of me for a second, and it spun around so fast. And I think I dropped the window net before I even spun out to let everybody know I'm fine. But after it slowed down and got on track, I said, we're done. Our brakes are, I think they blew out, blew up or something. And then we got killed there. It felt like an hour and a half later. So unfortunate. We got to go back to the shop and figure out if it was brakes or if a tire come apart and rip the brake line off. But I had no sign of any indication before. It was just that instant. It just went around. So unfortunate. I thought we were starting to make some headway. We were struggling on center exit, but just glad it wasn't like Pocono again.
So glad to see you okay. Thanks, Bubba. Marty.